The Good Ride, forever unsponsored. So here we are, looking at the Good Ride review of the Vans Implant boot. And I'm just gonna sit here and talk about it after riding it today with the Capita Navigator and the Yes Pick Your Line with Stratas, Atlases, and Atlases. And I also rode the K2 Broadcast and Formula with them as well, and I just did a review of that, so I'm just gonna leave this little mess behind us of boards, boots, and bindings. Just a typical day of gear whoring, just being me in a world that isn't. And it was really fun to get these out. What I found after the infuse, the first day of this testing round, of testing these boots, I found that the insoles this year really were tough on my arch and cramped my feet. They had a really high arch and there wasn't much after it. It just kind of like arched up on one side, and as you can see from the on the table review that has the boot deconstructed and pretty and beautiful, right? So I found that those insoles were cramping my feet and it wasn't fun to ride. So I took those out and I started putting in like my Footprint insole technology game changers, and they were amazing. They transformed these boots into something that was uncomfortable for me and felt a little narrow, and all of a sudden this boot just became amazing. And every Vans boot I've tried this week worked really well. And this Infuse, I think, is right up there. I mean, the Implant is right up there with the Infuse. I like this. It's got a little bit more support, and it's got this kind of like day one comfort. Like, I just put these on, put them in a heater this morning, not like a boot fitting heater, but just a boot dryer to kind of heat them up a little bit. Put them on, drove up to the mountain. Probably not a great thing to do, but I have small feet and I've done it a lot, so I did it. And then by the time I got on the hill, they were nice and warm and they felt like molded to my feet. They're definitely not as wide as my Adidas Tactical ADVs or Adidas boots that I've ridden. And they're definitely not like as shock absorbent as my Adidas Energy Boost boots. But those are at the upper end of the spectrum. But what they do that's really cool, pardon me, did a little hiking with them today too. They hiked really well. I even had to set my own path up a little cone, and they did really well. But what they do really well is they have that shock absorption in the heel that tapers down to almost nothing, so you can really feel the front part of your foot, and it feels like it really integrates with the board well. It gives you that cool kind of like skate feel, where I felt it really in tune with the board. You know, really loved combining these with the Stratas and my Union Atlas and my, you know, with the Formula, they were okay. But I really loved them with my Union bindings, and they also do really well with like, you know, like Contact Pros and that kind of thing. But anyways, I just love that shock absorption. They feel really good. Like, I can feel just like I'm a 9 on the Braddock, an athletic 9 fit, and these are 9s and they fit me perfect. So they fit really true to size. And then I'm a D bordering on E. I'm almost an E in terms of width, and I feel like there's just a little room to spare. I think anything tighter might cause some concerns here, but I love that there is, you know, a little boa here to kind of like tighten up around if you're somebody that needs a nicely wrapped heel, to get that nice and tight and really lock in your heel so it doesn't lift. Then you've got that boa. I love the traditional lace because that's how I like to ride boots. You know, my favorite boots are the tactical ADVs, and like boots like the Vans and Fuse that have all this adjustability. So you have all that adjustability with traditional lace. You've got the ability to lock in your heel. These liners are incredibly comfortable. I don't think you need to heat mold them, but you know, maybe if you got a tight spot or two, give it a go, but just try these out. These are like comfortable day one, especially with my footprint insole technology, you know, game changers in there. They fit perfect. They made this boot come alive for me. I love the little bit of ankle articulation here. You can see it kind of starting to like crow's feet just from one day, but it's got a nice flex to it. I love this little power strap that you can put in or out on the boot, and it really kind of helps keep the flex going. And then now I can't remember if these have, no, they don't have the inserts like the others, but man, they're just fun boots to wear and ride, and they were comfortable day one. They have good response. They have actual rubber on the soles, so I could hike up an icy hill and feel confident and comfortable that I wasn't gonna slip and fall, like some boots with just all EVA foam and just a patch or two of rubber here and there. So I really love that. And just all in all, I think it's a very recommendable boot. Don't be afraid of the traditional lace. There's lots of ways you can adjust it and dial it out for upper and lower separation. And I personally feel it's a much better solution if you're into, like myself, if you need your lower a little bit different than your upper. And it's got a lot of customizable options as well as good heel hold. Yeah, it's a little slower on and off, but I think overall you have a much better experience than single boa or even some double boa that doesn't like that overlaps, that isn't separate. So there you have it. You know, the Implant, great boot, super fun, and very recommendable.